Caitlin Clark is the reason WNBA viewership has exploded this season. Let's not sugarcoat it. Without her, the numbers just aren't the same. It's hard to believe how much one player can change the entire landscape of a league, but Caitlin Clark has done exactly that. The second she stepped onto the court in her rookie season with the Indiana Fever, people couldn't stop watching. And when I say people, I mean millions. Think about this. When Caitlin Clark was playing in the WNBA playoffs, over 3.4 million people tuned in to watch one of her games. Let that sink in for a second. That's not just a bump in viewership, that's a game changer for the entire sport. But what happened after her team, the Indiana Fever, got eliminated? Well, the numbers plummeted, and I mean plummeted. Without Caitlin, the playoff games struggled to even reach 1 million viewers. The whole league felt her absence like a punch to the gut. Caitlin isn't just another talented player, she's a full-blown phenomenon. She brought the energy, the excitement, and, let's be honest, the entire fan base from her days at Iowa. Her college career was already legendary, but now she's doing the same thing on the professional stage. Her WNBA debut was one of the most highly anticipated moments in recent memory, and it didn't disappoint. From the moment she stepped on the court, the viewership numbers started climbing, and they didn't stop until the Fever's playoff run came to an end. Let's rewind a bit. Caitlin's first playoff game against the Connecticut Sun drew 1.84 million viewers. That's already impressive, especially when you consider the fact that the game was airing at the same time as NFL football. The NFL, with all its massive viewership, couldn't even keep people from tuning in to see Caitlin Clark. But wait, it gets crazier. The second game, 2.5 million viewers on average, and at its peak, it hit a jaw-dropping 3.4 million. For women's basketball, that's insane. But here's the real kicker. After Caitlin and the Fever were eliminated, the WNBA playoff games didn't even come close to those numbers. The most watched game after that was the Aces vs. Liberty semifinal, which drew 929,000 viewers. Now, 929,000 is nothing to scoff at. It's actually an increase from last year's viewership, but let's be real, it's a huge drop from the millions that tuned in when Caitlin was on the court. It's clear that people weren't just watching the WNBA playoffs for the love of basketball, they were watching for Caitlin Clark. She was the show. She brought the electricity, and without her, the buzz just wasn't the same. Caitlin's ability to draw people in isn't just about her incredible skills on the court, though those are definitely a big part of it. She's got that it factor, something you can't teach. Whether it's her clutch three-pointers, her fierce leadership, or the way she commands the court like she's been doing this for a decade, fans are glued to the screen when she's playing. And it's not just basketball diehards watching her games. She's pulling in casual fans too. People who wouldn't normally tune into a WNBA game are suddenly setting reminders to catch Caitlin Clark in action. After her team got knocked out of the playoffs, the sudden dip in viewership was almost shocking. The Aces Liberty semifinal was the most watched semifinal game in 22 years, and yet, it still couldn't match the numbers Caitlin's games pulled. Let that sink in. The most watched semifinal game in over 2 decades still wasn't enough to compete with the buzz Caitlin Clark brought to the table. That's the kind of power she has. And yet, even without Caitlin, the WNBA is growing. The semifinals may not have hit the same highs, but they're still doing better than they were last year. The Aces Liberty game, for example, saw a 27% increase in viewership compared to last season's finals. The Sun Lynx game also drew a sizable audience, with 654,000 viewers, the most for a semifinal game on cable since 2000. So while Caitlin's absence left a noticeable void, the league is still trending in the right direction. But let's be honest, Caitlin was the rocket fuel behind this season's success. Her ability to draw millions of viewers in just her rookie season shows that she's not just a rising star. She's already one of the most important players in the WNBA. Her influence isn't just about the game, it's about the business side of sports too. She's bringing in new fans, new sponsors, and new excitement to a league that's been waiting for someone like her. She's the kind of player that can elevate the entire WNBA to new heights, and she's doing it at a time when women's sports are finally starting to get the recognition they deserve. The buzz around Caitlin Clark is only going to get bigger from here. She's just getting started, and the fact that she's already drawing in millions of viewers in her rookie season shows how much potential she has to grow the league. Fans are going to follow her every move, and as her career progresses, the WNBA will benefit from the attention she brings. In the end, Caitlin Clark isn't just a player to watch. She's the player everyone has to watch. She's already changing the game, and the numbers don't lie. When she's on the court, people tune in. When she's not, the viewership tanks. It's as simple as that. She's the future of the WNBA, and honestly, the league is lucky to have her.